I'm Mariana.
And I'm Steph.
And welcome
And
to Coffee and Anime.
thanks, guys, for joining us for our first ever live episode. That took a couple seconds because I didn't realize I had hit another button, but we're here. We're ready to go.
All the buttons.
I know. There's so much stuff going on nowadays with all these things. Well, thanks for joining us and for also watching Spice and Wolf because this has been my first run through of this series, which is always fun, actually, especially since I have the Nendroid and I've been meaning to watch it. So
It's so funny.
it's really, really, really good. And the dialogue is really, really good. Like, I'm surprised at the wit of both characters, the main characters, Lawrence and Hollow. So it was fun.
This is my fifth time watching this series. I've watched this one, since it aired. Like, it's one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
I love them. I love her. I've skimmed through the manga, but haven't really sat down and read it. As we were discussing earlier, I tried to do the light novel route first, and that just didn't go well.
Well, I've got the manga. I have 3 of them, so I'm going to read it just because I want to know more about the world and everything going on. Because I think it was, even though it was 25 episodes of a series, there was so much dialogue that I want to know a little bit more about Hollow herself versus the marketing world and all that stuff going on. I kind of made a little diagram this time so we know how many episodes and stuff happen for each of these things. I was trying to be fancy. We'll see yeah. So people know what's kind of going on. I guess the light novels, there's only 5 of them, but that must be because they have so much dialogue.
Is there only 5?
That's what it said on the wiki, so I don't know. I looked it up.
I feel like there's more.
I thought there was 22 the first time I searched it, and then it came down to 5. So I don't know if it's 5 plus the 16 manga to make the big jump, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's what I got. 25 episodes of amazing anime, though. And we can introduce all the main characters now. The 2 crazy sides of Hollow, like her goddess, beautiful, with nature, and then her drunken self, I think is the 2 main.
Yeah, no. She's I love how just the quips back and forth. Yes. She is very wise wolf. Hollow the wise wolf.
The way she speaks through the entire thing is just I thought I was gonna get tired of it. It just didn't. Yeah.
Did you watch it dubbed or subbed?
Huh?
Did you watch it dubbed or subbed?
I actually watched it dubbed because that's what it started with when it came up. And I realized that J. Michael Tatum is Lawrence. And so I was okay with watching it. And whoever plays, I think it's Brina, something with a P. And I don't know who exactly. I'm sorry if I'm messing up some amazing dubbed actress name. But she has a really good little growl to her voice when she plays this character. So it was pretty interesting.
No. I love the dub. I love the dub. This is definitely up there in my top 5 top 10 dubs. It's yeah, I'm gonna watch it dubbed. I watched it subbed once. I feel like it was I watched the first season subbed, and then when I got around to finally watching it again, I rewatched the first season dubbed and the second season dubbed too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think their voices go really well. It was very well casted. Very well casted.
Yeah, and they follow. I mean, it sounds right to me. Lawrence's voice actor is really good, and I just love when she howls and even everything. The girl who plays her is amazing. She's got a very good wolf voice, I guess is the word for it.
Right.
So, but it took me a while too. I had to replay episode 1 and 2 for how she gets into his cart. I wasn't assuming how that happened, but then I realized it's the wheat. And because he is merchanting the wheat during the festival, which was very interesting how things work.
Right? The whole bartering, the whole system, the commerce is actually very interesting throughout this, of how things used to play out. Mm-hmm. And how, the idea of giving credit and stuff like that kind of formed. from like a merchant thing, and now it's like everybody has a credit card.
Yeah, yeah. And like I was like, oh, so we get to I just kind of had one for him. He's pretty much the same for the entire series.
I know. He doesn't have a lot of. He has a couple of like facial expressions, but he really doesn't have a lot. Like he's.
And he's so like he'll get like barely gets embarrassed. Like for a main male character, he has like a little bit of blushy face every now and then, but he's pretty straightforward with Holo the entire time. And he'll tell her if he likes her, if he doesn't. Like kind of like it's refreshing in a way because he's not beating around the bush about anything. He's just himself, and so that's entertaining. But just the way sometimes he's like, "You still owe me a debt, so you have to stay with me," and so that parts were like pretty ridiculous.
I feel like that was more of an excuse than an actuality. Like, you know, and
Definitely.
kind of giving her the grace of the excuse as well, because you could tell that she wants to stay with him. You know, so I love them. I love them. I'm very interested in their daughter, her story.
Yeah, I saw that there's like a sequel kind of thing going on.
Yes,
so
Wolf and Parchment.
Yes. I just picked some cool moments for there. Like there's a lot of, if you Google images from the show, there's a lot of cute little things happening between the two of them. The apples, though, it makes the Nendroid so much better now that I know that the apple has so much more meaning to her.
Oh yeah, her obsession with apples.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. But the apples, I thought the apples have so much more significance because it's like kind of the first time that she showed him her skill. When they go to the first, I think it's like episode like 5 or 6 or something like that, where they go to the merchant hall with the furs. And she put the apples on top of there, so the furs smelled like fruit. I was like, oh, that's smart.
It's the fact that Lawrence didn't notice why. He assumed that she had some kind of secret connection to where these I think they're martins or whatever for like little fur animals.
Yeah, right.
But she did know that they were pretty tough, so at least that was a good thing. But she needed to make up her pay, so she owed him 50 coins, so she made it up in the barter that way. So
yeah,
made me laugh. Just they're very cute together.
They are. You know what? Like I think is funny though, is the fact that she can't hide her ears. I always think that she can't hide her ears and tail.
Yeah.
It's like because for most of the like demi-human type things in manga and anime, they usually can hide their ears and tail. But for her, it's like she's this great wolf, but she can't do that part. And I just always think it's funny because you see little parts where her like this part where her ear was moving, or like her tail will like get excited and he'll like move behind her.
Yeah. He's very, very like observant when that stuff happens too, which it's interesting that he went from, oh my gosh, this thing is happening, to yes, you can travel with me and I'll take care of you this entire time of everything that she needs, and doesn't find it like odd or anything like that. And I almost think that it's kind of cool that she has to have those characteristics. It makes her because she's very, very much proud of everything that is her wolf stuff. So it's pretty, yeah. Oh, James is here. Can you see it?
I don't see anything.
You go to comments and then go to the other one.
Oh, hi, James. Thank you for waking up and hanging out.
It's super early for everybody else, I'm assuming 9:30 in the morning, but that's why it's coffee.
Everybody needs to get on our time. Get on mom time.
Yeah, just after breakfast time. I just had some screens of all the money and stuff because I tried to follow this. I like stopped it and was like, okay, maybe I can write this down as they're trying to explain everything. I'll look it up. No, it's not going to happen. There's ridiculous amounts of nonsense in this, and it was just like crazy.
Yeah. It's almost noon. Oh, you're on the East Coast. Oh, hey, this might work out.
Yeah. It works. And then her trying to listen for like the clinks to be duller if they're less of a metal too was super interesting. Just the little characteristics between what she can do because she's got enhanced hearing or enhanced senses that helps Lawrence do his own job it was really cool.
I thought this part was interesting, and I actually asked Drew because he's all Mr. History buff person, and he said this was actually kind of an issue at one point. Because when people would try to make fake coins and things, they would use enough of the material for like the coloring and stuff like that, but then like put like less valuable things in it, and they would be like a little bit lighter or a slightly different color or all that other stuff. So this is actually like pretty on point with how people used to. Oops.
Yeah. I think Lawrence was complaining too. There's a lot of like fake ones and stuff like that nature. So he was mentioning that too when he was talking, but they were trying to figure out because I guess they were like adding less silver into it to make them worth less, so they can make a different type of coin to make it worth more. This whole part was like very.
So in this part right here, what happens is they're compromising for the material that's available. So they do over time change like the weight and the worth or how much silver is in something. How can I put it? But it's not supposed to be something noticeable. It's not supposed to be something where you can actually tell that there's a difference in the amount of silver in there.
That makes sense why he was just, even though the guy who does the coin stuff was super adorable too, because I liked the way that Hollow was like, oh, he's awesome. You can flirt with me all day long. Lawrence had some good friends for that part. What do I have next on here? Oh, I have the villains next because there was quite a few of them. It's like every 5 episodes.
Well, and it's almost like the villains like converged at one point.
Yeah.
In the first season, you were like, oh, okay, you all suck.
Yeah. It's like, how does anybody make a living as a merchant with all these crazy underhanded people running things? It was insane.
Right. I will never forget the first run that I watched this. I forget her name, probably because I don't like her.
Oh, Chloe.
Yeah, Chloe. I was so just like, how petty woman could you be? Like, I was just like, like, I don't know. The amount of petty that she was showing just really bugged me.
It was a good lesson for like Hollow's like reaction to it, because in her mind she was being good to nature as well as the people and keeping her promise to that little boy. And none of the humans were. It's like a common theme in history where people just don't understand what they have and take it for granted, and then want more and get greedy and then turn into evil Chloe's. So yeah, it works.
Well, I mean, and also the fact that like I think I know in like Japan, because a lot of people still they still have their gods and things like that traditionally. And you've seen a lot of themes, like in a lot of like Ghibli films and stuff like that, where they're talking about how people have like forgotten the gods and like turned their backs on the gods and things like that. And I feel like this just showed like, what happens when the consequence of doing that. Like she felt she was no longer needed. They didn't appreciate her anymore. So she left.
Exactly. So yeah. The top one on the top, I think he was like the end of the first season. I felt bad for him because he was basically trying to save his employees.
Yeah.
So that was like it was not going well for him, and he needed something now to do this. So I felt bad, but the rest of them are scum.
Yes. Greedy.
And I just kind of brought some of the side characters. I brought Chloe back too because she was okay in the very first episode. I guess
Right.
is
She
the word.
just seemed adorable, right? And like
Yeah,
the friend, friend zone.
yeah. Nora, I loved. So her and her pup can stay forever. They should just stay forever. They're adorable.
I know.
The womanizer money guy I liked him too. Very upfront. And I think it's Amari. Is that his name in the middle?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Interesting love interest kind of choice because like as they travel, like you always have like a couple people here and there that are gonna jumble up like a romantic thing, and he was an interesting one. So I was like, okay, we'll see how this goes.
Right. The whole contest between them too was. It's like it's sad because you're kind of rooting for him, but you were also not at the same time.
It just like I don't know. It was just kind of off base for me. Oh, James made a good point too. I'm trying to look at everything at once.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I think it's what Fruits Basket has too. Has a lot of that mythology about old gods or old like legends that kind of take over someone's life. It's just kind of like one of those things. In their case, it literally does, but kind of goes from there.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
sad.
Did you have a favorite side character? Not really.
Not really. I didn't. I liked them.
Mm-hmm.
The side characters help the story flow. Definitely, I feel like each side character that came into the story had a purpose. But I also feel like I probably would have still watched it. It was just the two of them and the shenanigans that she gets them into. To be honest.
She definitely was all over the place. It was funny. And then this like her wolf form was like the coolest thing ever too though. I wasn't expecting it to be
Huge.
yeah. And then when they meet the other wolves in there and they have like I was like, oh, there's another large one, but she was like youngsters. I need to go take care of these because she's like hundreds and hundreds of years old.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I feel like whatever wolf she's supposed to be, there's definitely like a hierarchy because those other wolves were like half the size, like not even, they weren't even as big as their paw. They were just wolves. So that's something I also want to read more about, which I'm sure like towards the end of this series it's more fully explained of like what she is.
I'll give it to like her character too. She like teases him relentlessly about her being cute and him liking her the entire series.
And how like he can't resist. It's funny. It's funny, and he's just always so. I love the fact that he doesn't always blush, but you can tell on his face that he just is just like wants to blush.
Like her telling him, "Oh, if you're going to buy me expensive food, don't use it as an excuse to only have one bed in the inn." I was laughing pretty hard. I was like, "Oh my goodness,
That's good."
Mm-hmm. It's cute. I just pulled some more. I really liked the merchant dad guy for Lawrence. Like he was super cute, and obviously the puppy because he was. It's funny that she was talking to the dog like most of the time, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's weird," but okay, because she just didn't.
No
like
one
him.
questioned it.
No.
Outwardly, like, was like, "Why are you talking to that dog like a people?"
Yeah. She's like, he has a crush on me, and he totally didn't. He's like, I don't like you at all. So it's interesting. a lot of like the characters kind of came and go, and like you're right, it's like points of interest in the whole story for the other two in between, but they were all like well executed little kind of random people. Like you knew that they knew Lawrence for a long time. They did well with kind of the depth of their character for that one episode or 2 episodes that they did it. So it was nice.
I think it flowed very well, and it gave more depth to him as a character to actually have a past. Because it would have been very weird for him just to be a merchant starting out in this because while he still had a lot to learn, there was, how could I put it? There was a footing. He had a footing, like roots. He had roots to build from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like the story as a whole would have been a lot more chaotic if he was a new merchant and not like an established one.
Well, he was able to like navigate the world due to his own experience. So I think if she was with someone new, it would have been like the other Marty guy, and they would have just been all over the place, and he wouldn't know what to do with himself, let alone with a person. So it was it was necessary, and with the silver hair, he always looks older than he is. So it's like, it's funny. I think we're almost to the end of this too. It'll be good. I love the intro song. It's great, but the ending song for the first season is like my favorite thing because I listen to it every time. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's very fun and very like, yeah. I didn't even realize it was ending at that point. I'm like, oh, this is weird, and then I'm like, oh, this is the ending song, and it's not like a continuation of what's happening or what's going on. So it was very, very cute. So
I love all the little art at the end too. It's very adorable.
You can tell that the creators of For the Anime were doing this as like almost a celebration of other novels and manga, because the anime itself, even though it ends, it doesn't really end. It's kind of like just like, oh, here we're gonna close this out at this point. So
yeah, I had a feeling they were like left a little open ended for like maybe another season, because I don't know. I didn't look where things were production wise. As far as the novel, because a lot of times, you'll get the material isn't quite caught up yet. So I don't know if they like caught up to the material and they couldn't do a third season or what. But it shocks me that they haven't done a third season by now. She's so popular.
It'd be funny if they actually do it like a Fruits Basket and remake it all, start at the beginning and just do a whole new revamp. It would be really neat to see. But, I don't know. That's the end of the slides there. I loved it. So this is probably one of the ones, I haven't seen it before, so I was super excited to like watch something that I hadn't seen. And it was very like, when you're like 13, remember wearing your PJs and trying to like catch something on Toonami at like 6 a.m. because it was coming over at the wrong thing. That's what it reminded me of like watching it, like sitting there like all excited because something different was coming on. I remember because like Escaflowne came out on Fox for like 2 episodes. I remember being like, this is the coolest thing ever. So watching this gave me that kind of nostalgia feel of like the older series. So it was very cute. I liked it.
This is definitely one of my comfort ones. This is a comfort one. This is one that I will just watch it, and it no matter how many times I rewatch it, I always kind of catch something new, because it is very dialogue heavy, and there is a lot going on. So it's very easy to watch it and almost miss something. But overall, I mean, it's solid. It's a solid story, and yes, it's mostly about money and commerce, but the way it's presented gives it a uniqueness that you can enjoy it.
I think it was amazing. So it was one of those like really interesting. I'm trying to get this slideshow off. Doing this live is always like, okay. Like, now I know how Tom feels. I'm like, what are the buttons?
James, just anime hit different on After Hours. table.
They do. It's just like one of those things where, well, you already think you're in trouble because you shouldn't be watching stuff at that time of day. But it's like one of those things. Like you said, it's comfort. It's like the characters. They're not wholesome, but they're at least relatable. And sometimes I think a lot of newer animes get away from that kind of stuff too. So
They do. Like, I feel like a lot of, I mean, especially because it's a josei, but a lot of shoujo, especially, like, even, I can even picture myself as a teenager kind of not being able to relate to a lot of the newer stuff that's coming out with the shoujo. And I don't, and I don't know if that's more of like me being American and us having different, you know, views on dating and how boys and girls interact and stuff like that, or if it's just like my personality. But like a lot of them, I'm just like, can't do it. The coming of age is killing me.
I also think they have like so many of them out now too that you're not like having like key moments in series anymore. There's like a fire hose of like content going out there right now for shoujo, and so
which is good.
Yeah,
because I mean, gosh, 2013, 2014, you know, begging for shoujo, anything, begging. So, I mean, it's like, it's a good thing, but at the same time, now it's like so much. And the stories they're almost all the same.
They do, and you'll find like one or two like Horimiya is a good example of something that came out this year that was like, oh, okay, I can watch this 50 times. This will be on Coffee and Anime in 8 years, so it'll be good.
Right? No, it's good. It's refreshing. Horimiya is very refreshing because they're teenagers and they're real teenagers almost.
Yeah. So like, I don't know if it's just us getting older and not being able to, but like even watching this, I appreciate it. But this is a little bit older too, so I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of what I want to give this. I didn't give it a grade before we went live because I was too busy trying to make sure everything worked. What was the black cup of coffee? What was that one? Just classic, right?
Classic black cup of coffee, smooth.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the way I see this. It's just like I'm probably gonna watch it again. I really enjoyed it. I think when I first started, I watched 8 of them in a row, which I never do. So it's like
easy to binge. It's so good though, and you want to keep going. That's the really great thing. Is it's a solid story. It's easy to follow. You know, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of dialogue, yes, but it's the base story is easy to follow, and you're invested. You wanna know what's gonna happen when they get home.
Yes,
like what is that gonna be like? What is that story? So yeah, but for me, this is smooth and creamy. It's my latte.
Okay.
My latte. This is like, I mean, but for me, like, latte is my black coffee because I would never drink black coffee. I would never have an Americano. I'd die.
It's your classic. I don't like, I think it wakes you up a little bit too, because like some shoujos, like I can turn them on and I kind of like do my own thing, or like I'll be on my phone or whatever while I'm trying to watch it. This one I wanted to pay attention to. I like it stopped me and I could like actually sit there and only watch it. So it was refreshing. I don't think black coffee is refreshing, but I think it's at least something that wakes you up and you're like, oh, okay, this is very well done and I want to watch it. So
yeah, no. It's very it's very, the flow of it. It's got a good, and the pacing is good too, because you don't, even though there's a lot of conversation going on and a lot happening, you don't get overwhelmed by that. There are some manga and anime where the pacing is completely off and they bombard you with all these facts and things to the point that you're confused at what's going on in the story from the get. Like, you're just like, can't feel it, don't understand it.
I think the relatability that Hollow doesn't know what's going on, and then Lawrence is explaining it to her, but at the same time explaining it to the audience as you go through everything, is actually a well thought out idea for this. So
yes, it's like you're learning along with them as
yeah,
they have these experiences, and they meet different people and go to different places, and yeah, I feel like the second season also just how it became almost not dark, but it was like a dark reality of what happens,
yeah.
in the world. Like, some settlements don't last. You've got to move. You've got to keep going and things like that.
And it's almost like we're following their little story about how they're interacting with what world is going on and how these are things are happening and how they're surviving. Because at one point, after like the first season, you think that they have enough money to do whatever they need to do, and they keep getting broke again. And I'm like, what is going on with them people? I was like, oh, but she must be eating it all, because I'm like, how do you eat 20 apples in one sitting? I just want to ask you that one now.
I couldn't do it.
No.
Oranges, maybe. I could sit there and snack on oranges for days. Apples are very hearty.
Yeah. It's big. Tummy would hurt. All right. Well, I think we made it through our first. It's our first live. We're probably going to do this live from now on because it was exciting to be able to hit the button.
This was nerve-wracking. Are we not worry about posting?
Yeah. There you go. It's all up. Skip Beats next, correct?
We are no. Next, we are doing Your Name and Oh My Goddess.
Oh, that's right. We were gonna do a dual thing.
Yeah, we're doing three this month. Because we because people lagged. No.
So I'm a Goddess, which is gonna be quite the extravaganza because I haven't seen it either. Which I shouldn't admit that because that should take my anime card away. Yeah. There's a lot of other stuff that I need to watch, but Your Name I have seen. I'm very excited to rewatch it, so it'll be very exciting.
I am excited because I know the manga is based on the movie, but I also ordered the manga from Right Stuff. Very excited. Hopefully have it before we film, but I don't know. I that movie is just,
it's great.
It's such a good movie. And I really hope that you love Oh My Goddess. It's just, Belle Dandy will forever, in my mind, be best girl. There's a lot of best girls, but she is best girl. Hands down.
I was trying to think what I was watching instead of that back in the day, but I think it was Tenchi Muyo was on and stuff like that. That's what I kind of relate it to. And there was the little boy that was like a wizard. I can't remember what his name, what that was. It was one of those two.
I'm blanking. Little boy was a wizard.
He was a wizard and he had all the girls for his little. That was a common thing back then.
Negahima?
Yes.
Negahima or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's younger but he's teaching at a school.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Remember that one. I recommend Cereal Experience Lane.
It's more of an Irish coffee. I don't know how to take that, James.
I've heard of this one, and I've actually because my dad still watches anime, obviously. Well, that's not obvious to most people. My dad is a huge nerd. Nobody knew this. But I feel like that's one of my dad's favorites. But he also likes crap. Can't think of the one that he likes. They're balloons and the girl with short hair. Mine's blanking. Can't think. whatever.
Oh, wow.
But he likes the obscure ones. So
Oh.
and I've heard this one is pretty obscure and brain trippy. Am I right, James?
I'm gonna assume it's one of his favorites too. So brain trippy. So that's what Irish coffee does to you.
Gives you a brain trip. Totally down for that one.
Yeah, I'm trying. So we have "Oh My Goddess" and then your name for next time, and then we'll continue on from there. We have a big list to go through too, Mariana. We're
We have and then did we decide? Is Skip Beat in the? Is Skip Beat in our list?
it was, but we might have taken it out right now. I don't know. It's an easy watch, so
It is an easy watch. Can't think of what's next.
Natsume is next after that.
Natsume is in November, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one is going to be Air.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I'm very excited about.
Oh my gosh. You ready for tears?
Always.
Always.
I think now, this is not even the tangent at all, but Tokyo Revengers is plenty of tears.
Oh my god. Did you
we'll go into that later.
Did you break down into did you get the digital?
No, no. I'm trying to be good. I need to finish Vigilantes first and some other stuff. Yeah.
I just refuse. I refuse to read it unless it's physical.
If it ends up on the Shonen app, I might do it. So that's the only way that I would do it. So we'll see. All right. Well, we're going to say bye, guys. Thanks for listening to our last little anime manga updates. And thanks for joining us. We'll post when the next episode will air, and we'll join us for Oh My Goddess and Your Name. We'll do a joint one. We should do a double feature. What do you think?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Could those two go together?
Yeah.
I think they could go together.
Yeah. It'll be okay.
Yeah. Oh My Goddess is Destiny, and yeah, we could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for anybody wondering, Oh My Goddess, so I don't know what the whole licensing thing is, but for whatever reason, the first season is up on YouTube. You can search it up. But then the second season is on Funimation. So I don't know what Funny was doing when they were trying to get licensing. I don't know if it's like because Dark Horse still had their hands on that first season or something. I don't know.
You never know what the back office politics kind of stuff is until
yeah. But so you can't stream the first season legally. It's up on YouTube, and no one's taken it down. So I'm assuming nobody has a license to it.
Mm-hmm. And Your Name, you can see. I think it's on Amazon. Is it on Hulu or Netflix yet? I don't know. Look.
No, so it's on Netflix Asia, I do believe, and maybe even Europe and Canada.
Mm-hmm.
But our Netflix doesn't like us.
Mm.
We get no good stuff. I mean,
all right. I'm gonna say thank you and
thanks, guys.